This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Saman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says the World Bank's $20 billion investment in social sectors will bring enormous development in the country. The Deputy Prime Minister is in New York to represent Pakistan at the meeting of the United Nations Security Council on multilateralism and global governance being held tomorrow. The Finance Minister has underscored for boosting exports from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia, especially skilled labour. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed serious concern over a crackdown on Islamic and historical books in the valley. The Russian foreign minister and his American counterpart have arrived in Saudi Arabia to hold talks to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. Pakistan has won a bronze medal in the 22nd Asian Junior Squash Team Championship in Hong Kong. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif says Pakistan's program of institutional and economic reforms is progressing on a fast track. He was talking to a delegation of the World Bank executive directors in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister said partnership between Pakistan and the World Bank spans over last 7 decades. He said a number of mega projects with the assistance of the bank were completed in Pakistan and those projects played a key role in the country's development. Shahbaz Sharif said the World Bank also helped the people during the floods of 2022 in Pakistan. He said the World Bank's $20 billion package for development of education, health, and empowerment of the youth will generate enormous development in Pakistan. The Deputy Prime Minister Mohammad Asagdar is in New York to represent Pakistan at the high-level meeting of the United Nations Security Council on multilateralism and global governance being held tomorrow. The 15-member council meeting will be chaired by the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi as China holds the council's rotating presidency for the month of February. The deliberations come at a time of growing concerns about multilateralism, with the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warning that the international community is failing to respond to crises. Pakistan has welcomed this timely initiative by China, which underscores the critical importance of multilateralism in addressing today's complex global challenges. In his remarks, Mohammad Asagdar will reaffirm Pakistan's strong commitment to the principles of multilateralism and the central role of the United Nations in promoting international peace, security, and sustainable development. He will also highlight Pakistan's priorities as a non-permanent member of the Security Council, emphasizing the importance of dialogue, cooperation, and inclusive global governance. On the sidelines of the United Nations Security Council meeting, the Deputy Prime Minister is also expected to hold talks and bilateral meetings with his counterparts as well as senior United Nations officials. Pakistan and Bahrain have agreed to further strengthen bilateral parliamentary relations. A consensus to this effect was reached during the visit of a high-level parliamentary delegation from Bahrain, led by the Speaker of the Council of Representatives of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Dr. Ahmed bin Salman Al Musallam, to the Parliament House in Islamabad today. The two sides discussed in detail the bilateral relations, trade opportunities, and promoting parliamentary cooperation. Speaking on the occasion, the Speaker, Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, said Pakistan attaches great importance to its bilateral relations with Bahrain and increased parliamentary ties can play a significant role in bringing the two nations closer. The Speaker said both the countries have similar positions on important regional and global issues and always supported each other at the regional and global fora. The Speaker of the Council of Representatives of Bahrain, Dr. Ahmed bin Salman Al Musallam, said his country wants to promote cooperation with Pakistan in parliamentary, trade, information technology, and various other fields. The Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb has underscored the potential for boosting exports from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia, especially in the skilled labour sector. In an interview with the Arab News on the sidelines of the Al Ula Conference for Emerging Market Economies, the Finance Minister noted that this aligns with Saudi Arabia's expanding workforce needs. He said Saudi Arabia's influence in regional economic transformation is expanding, with Pakistan acknowledging the kingdom's progress under Vision 2030 as a valuable model. He emphasized that Saudi Arabia's leadership in economic reforms offers important lessons for Pakistan as it embarks on its own structural changes. The finance minister also highlighted the growing Saudi investment in Pakistan, particularly in the business to business sector. Meanwhile, the European Union leaders are gathering in Paris today to discuss Ukraine issue. The summit has been convened by French President Emmanuel Macron. The meeting would be attended by heads of government of Germany, the United Kingdom, Italy, Poland, Spain, the Netherlands, Denmark, President of the European Union Council, the President of the European Commission, and the Secretary General of NATO. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All-Party Conference has expressed serious concern over the crackdown on Islamic and historical books aimed at detaching Kashmiris from their Islamic identity. In a statement, the All-Party Conference spokesman Advocate Abdur Rashid Minhas condemned the Hindutva regime led by Manoj Sinha for targeting Islamic literature. He said the Manoj Sinha-led administration is working on the RSS agenda to alter Kashmiri Muslim character through Hindutva indoctrination in schools. Meanwhile, senior APHC leader Mirwais Omar Farooq has warned of an existential threat to occupied Jammu and Kashmir due to anti-Kashmiri measures, including the revocation of the special status, confiscation of land, and identity loss. He urged all the communities to unite against these threats and rejected proposals for separate settlements for Kashmiri Pandits. Likewise, the Indian troops' personnel continued their coordinated search operations in different areas in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, including Kupwara, Baramulla, Islamabad, Anantnag, Rajouri, Punch, and Doda districts. Several civilians were questioned during these operations. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will participate in talks with the American officials in Saudi Arabia tomorrow to end the war in Ukraine and restore bilateral relations. The talks are being held after a telephonic conversation between President Vladimir Putin and his American counterpart Donald Trump to initiate talks on the issue. American Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also arrived in Saudi Arabia to meet the Russian officials. Saudi Arabia has played a role in early contacts between Donald Trump administration and Moscow, helping to secure a prisoner swap last week. The United Nations has appealed for $6 billion to provide desperately needed aid to people in the war-ravaged Sudan. The appeal has been made jointly by the United Nations Humanitarian Agency OCHA and Refugee Agency UNHCR. The United Nations agencies said the civil war has displaced 12 million people, of whom around 3.5 million have fled the country. Sudan has been locked in a brutal civil war since April 2023. In Egypt, 10 people were killed and 8 others injured when a building collapsed in an area of Kurdasa. The cause of the incident is said to be a gas cylinder explosion. And now news about sports. Pakistan team has won a bronze medal in the 22nd Asian Junior Squash Team Championships held in Hong Kong. South Korea secured the gold medal while Malaysia got silver. Pakistan and India won bronze medals. And finally, the weather report. Cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. Rain, wind, thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected in upper parts on Wednesday and Thursday. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.bk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.